Bonjour and welcome back to Model Club Thionvillois here in Thionville, France, just south of the border of Luxembourg. So thank you for joining us once again. Today is finals day 1, as you can see from the graphic that popped up on our screen. So we are just about to head into the 1/16th B final, the first of the finals here at the 2024 EFRA 1/10 Icy Track European Championships. So the marshals are out on the track, mechanics taking their drivers' cars out to the grid. And I'm not sure if we've just had a technical timeout, but maybe not. No, I think. Okay, so 5 seconds. There we go. 4 drivers in this one, as you can see. And time has started. They're off and away. Coming through right power. Oh, going wide in that first turn. Followed very closely by Sahin, I believe one of our Turkish racers. And coming into that final chicane, coming onto the main straight. Already battle for second now. Down the straight goes Reitbauer. Reitbauer just crossing. It's so top 3 racers are bumping up into the 1/8 B, which is going to kick off at 3 p.m. So it's now we've got a battle for third. So it's country on that battle for second, actually. The yellow and the gray and orange car. As Turkey and Bob Harley, Super Bob from the UK. So one of these 3 racers is not going to bump up. So it's a 4-car race. A nice easy start for our finals, but not for these guys. These guys battling it out, coming through that final chicane. So let's let them go through and follow this battle for 4th, because this is it, actually, the battle for 3rd. These 2 racers here, Turkey and Bob Harley. Turkey in the yellow car, Bob Harley in the gray and orange. Coming into that final chicane, see the action here on our chicane cam. And then down the main straight, crossing that start-finish line at the end. Sorry, at the start of the... Oh, Bob... Oh, no, Turkey going across the grass. Yeah, he has to get back to position. Referees on it. They're getting their practice in as well, just like everybody. Oh, very loose track because we just had a little spit of rain. I believe if they're running white wheels, they are on the standard handout hot race tires. Everyone is obligated to use them. So Turkey, off the grass now. So there goes Bob past him. So let's stay with Bob here. Coming across, he should pop up into 3rd. There he goes on the MyRCM timing. So it's been a pretty hectic week for us, and all the racers here with the rain has been causing all kinds of crazy delays and discussions. Here comes Bob through the final. Oh, loose there, coming onto the main straight. Into our first of the chicane cams. It's a little bit grainy, but, you know, it works. Nice, not quite a straight line there. That's okay. We'll give Bob a bit of a pass here because he's going in for a double hip replacement soon. As soon as he gets back home to the UK, he's off to the hospital, literally, to get one of his hips replaced. So I won't say how old he is, but he's an old beggar. Turkey several seconds behind now on Bob, so it's 8 seconds. So 20-minute sub-finals all day today. And I believe we're going to have 20-minute semifinals tomorrow. And then the main final should be 45 minutes. And from what I understand, they are going to be run no matter what happens. So whether it's rain or not, the races are going to run. We have one of the, that Sahin has fallen out. So now actually Harley, so I think it was Sahin who's just ran underneath us as a flame out. The Reitbauer looks like he is also flamed out. So we have Bob Harley in the lead of this 1/16th B here in Thionville. Stays like this, he's going to be starting, I think it's going to be 7th place. Is he coming in for a pit? Let's follow Bob in for a pit, see how this goes. Here we go. Alex Thurston there, also from the UK. You see the car 3. Sahin's still out. Turkey, the computer's wondering where Turkey is. Harley, I think we're going to have someone else pop up into the lead. No, it's Turkey still second. So on real pace, Bob Harley is leading this 1/16th B final. Now, if you're familiar with these races, top 3 racers will bump up into the 1/8th B. But after this race, we'll have the 1/16th A. So it's what we call our Christmas tree finals. So I think we're going to have Turkey coming up on Bob. Or is Turkey fallen off again? No, we only have the 2 cars that are running. Oh, Reitbauer's running now. Turkey, that's Harley just going past. So the usual sort of lower final confusion. We have 3 cars out on track now. So who is missing? Is Sahin still missing, I think? Harley taking a little bit longer. Computer is wondering where he is. That's why his number went black. Now, as he crosses the line, he goes turquoise color. So active cars on track are the 3, the 1, and the 4. That's Harley, Reitbauer, and Turkey. Everyone's been in for a pit. These guys are going to be pitting about every 4 minutes and 15 seconds or so. Oh, nice slowdown there. That's good driving from Bob. Not wanting to go for the Hero to 0 pass. And letting the lap traffic move out of the way. I think that was Turkey. No, that was Reitbauer. I hear another car getting started up. That must be Sahin, who was one of our leading cars. So Harley currently on a 46-lap pace. And with that fast lap, he's actually leaped up into a 52-lap pace. Bob's been doing this quite a while. He knows the ins and the outs. He knows just keep it on track. And if you can finish, basically, in this one, you just don't want to finish last, is all. It looks like we have all the cars out on track now. So Sahin has crossed the line again. We're going to move away. Oh, who's this? Follow that car that's just coming off the track. See who this is, because that's our number 1 car, Reitbauer, our pole man in this one. Okay, let's go back to this. I think it's the yellow car that's just coming around the arrowhead now is Turkey. So he's our 2nd place driver. It's plenty of time to give everybody some time on camera. Plenty of time for them to go back and review their final so they can kick themselves and go, why did I go wide there? Why did I go off the grass there? Why did I do this or do that? So Turkey still in 2nd. Reitbauer running 3rd. Or is he running? No, Reitbauer was the one who came in to the pit. So Sahin was off track for quite a while. So he's the orange car ahead. So at the moment, that's Bob coming up to pass him. We'll let Bob go past. And we'll stick with this yellow car for a little bit. So we're nearly halfway through already. We're under 12 minutes. Sahin just crossed again. He still hasn't moved out of 4th position, though. You can see on the timing on the right hand of the screen. That just means that Reitbauer was running while... Ooh, a little slide there coming into the main, that first chicane. It's a good one. So Sahin, let's see if he passes Reitbauer on the timing now. I think he will. Reitbauer and Sahin both on 14 laps. Now Sahin has 15 laps. So let's drop back to the next car behind, the orange one there. This is Sahin, who's been clicking off the laps while Reitbauer has been stuck in the pits again. So at the moment, this is our third place and final bump-up position driver coming out of that last corner and into the first chicane there. He's almost catching up with Turkey, I think it is. Oh, no, that's Bob. That's just ahead. So he's definitely faster. Sahin and Reitbauer are both faster, but both having really bad luck. And that has allowed Bob Harley to get up there. So that is Turkey that he's just passed. Harley is the next car on track to pass. You see Harley there, just zipping out of screen. So halfway through now, just over, just about 10 minutes left in this one. So in the live stream, we've got Walt Bailey cheering on Bob, saying, "Come on, Bob Harley, you can do this." Pretty sure Bob ran the IC section for the BRCA for a few decades. Evening, gents. Yes, he did. Mentioned that yesterday. He actually reminded me of that yesterday. So Bob knows what he's doing, and like I said, oh, look at that. You can see the rain coming down now, so let's see what happens now. Let's go to our pit cam. I hear someone in the pits getting refueled. No tire change. No tire change yet. You can see that is number 4 of Turkey. And who is that? Is that Bob? No, Bob is just going past. That is, I think, the number 2 of Sahin. He's just passed. Reitbauer still out of this one. So EFRA officials deciding whether they need to stop the race or not. I'm not sure what the ruling is. So officially, this is a dry race. So we see refueling for the car 2 of Sahin there. And then back out onto the main straight. Very ginger driving. Let's go back to Bob, just coming around the Omega now and around the hairpin. This is Bob Harley. Still leading this race, 2 laps ahead of everybody. He's a British racer. He knows how to drive in the rain, but does he remember? Oh, he's off on the grass now. Harley's in the grass. Marshall's out to get him. Let's see if someone's going to get his lap back, whether that's Turkey or Sahin. Nope, no passing. So Sahin just spun out in front of us. These guys like driving on ice. So this started as a dry race, and the rain came down as predicted in everyone's weather apps. I'm not sure whether this was declared a wet race ahead of time. So there is a technicality of whether they are allowed to change to wet tires during the race, because the wet tire selection is open. You can use any wet tires. Oh, has Bob flamed? No, that's the... Okay, so that's Sahin has just... Turkey is just... Oh, keep it drift-wise. Down the main straight. Very ginger. Into the grass again. Too much steering on that one. These guys running 2 million weight gear oil or grease in the front diffs of these cars. So tons and tons of steering. No one-ways. So Harley still on 28 laps. Turkey on 26, 27 now on that number 4 yellow car. So we have basically, we don't have a battle for third anymore. We have a battle for first. So Harley crossing. Ooh, watch that steering. Not too much steering input there, Bob. Going around the sweeper. Normally that is flat out hard braking at this point. And then straight on through the chicane. You see the elevation changing. on our remote camera. See, now it's easy to read the numbers. Yesterday, whew, too quick. So maybe the rain's good for me to be able to read the numbers and tell you who's who. Not so great for these guys, though. Watch it there, Bob. Coming around the final corner for click-off 30 laps. A mighty 39.28 lap time, where in the dry, our leader, Reitbauer, well, at the time he was leading, he had 25-second laps, so almost double the lap time. So Turkey has just crossed. If Turkey can catch up to Bob, pass him, and then pass him again somehow, that will be a lead change, which won't affect things too much. They'll be starting 7th and 8th and 9th. Sorry, 8th, 9th, 10th. Bob coming in for a pit. Let's follow this one through on our main camera. If we can get down for it. Yeah, there we go. See Thurston. Alex Thurston, our number 4 starter in the main final. Hold the cars. They're saying hold the cars. So I believe it's a 16-minute time is the ruling. So if they've stopped the race now, that is the race declared, I believe. So the race is now finished officially. And that is our finishing order, as you can see on the timing. So we got Harley, Turkey, and Sahin. So 2 Turkish drivers. Whoa, nice, good-sized Turkish team here. Making the trip from probably not too used to running in the rain. But a great win for Bob Harley there. Good job, Bob. Super Bob off the rostrum. And I believe I've just overheard that. Vito, is that correct? We just continue on. We have the normal break, and then we continue on as scheduled.
Normal is wet race.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so that's it. So declared wet race for the 1/16th A final. That means they can use any tire they wish. And there's a couple different varieties of tires that the drivers are able to use. There's rubber tires, just like you would use on electric touring cars. And there's also very, 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 very soft foam tires, which are more for damp conditions, which is probably what they'd use at this minute. But if there was standing water on track, they'd use the grooved rubber tires. So, the moment, we've got a bit of a break, and actually a little bit longer of a break than we were anticipating because we stopped that race a little bit early. So if you have any questions or comments or want to say hi to other racers and fans and viewers in the chat, please do drop us a line. We want to thank EFRA for having us be here. We want to thank the Model Club Thionvillois. Is that correct? Correct. Okay, very good. For being very generous hosts. I think I had beef bourguignon yesterday, or no, the first day. Yesterday was Hungarian chicken. Today was Catalan-style veal. Honestly, the best track food that we've had at any event so far this year. It's amazing. So good. The only thing that's missing is maybe the red wine. But maybe don't want to have that. Maybe at the end of the day. But yes, fabulous host. Thank you very much. And look at that. The sun is already out and drying the track. We don't know. That's what the weather's doing for us all week long, is just playing havoc with us. See if we can get a closer view. Look at the pit lane. You can see the dry spots where people had their kneeling pads. And you can see the sun there on this camera. So we just have an announcement. I'm just trying to listen to it. Okay, so they are declaring again officially the next race will be declared a wet race. So if you're familiar with Formula One and MotoGP, basically that means they can, well, in this case, they're not obligated to run wet tires, but it's probably a good idea to. So there's damp tires, and then there's standing water wet tires, and it's up to them what they use. And I believe it's a completely free choice of tire, which means you can run any tire. And I think it also means that they can run not tire warmers, but tire saucing as well, I think. Don't quote me on that. I will look that up. While we're catching up with things, we are presently at 13:49 or 1:49 Central European time, so we would have been just about to finish this race, the 1/16th B. And then the 1/16th A is going to kick off at 2 o'clock, which is in 10 and a half minutes time. So we have a little bit of time to talk about what happened yesterday with our qualifiers. So as I said, the weather has massively disrupted things for, well, many events that I've personally been at for EFRA the last couple of years. Famously had a Worlds rained off. We had to go into an extra rain day for the Worlds, but European Championships don't have a rain day allowance. So it's run during whatever the weather is. This isn't NASCAR. So the first day that we were here, we had on Wednesday, we had one round of qualifying, which took just about an hour or so. Dario Balestre dominated that one and earned himself 0 points for the qualifying points. Gilles Grosskamp came second, so he got 2 points and so on. I think it was Alex Thurston that got third in that one, so he had 3 who got in. And then it was Tony Gruber finished fourth, and that was Wednesday in dry conditions. And then yesterday, start off with a wet track. There was open practice. There were people practicing. If you have a wet car, you're obligated to run a second chassis that is set up as a wet car, and that has to be technical inspected, and body shells with rain deflectors and water deflectors to keep water off of the electronics and off of the engine and air filter. That all has to be go through technical inspection once again. So I think we had 3 qualifying rounds scheduled yesterday. We ended up running 4 to get the full count of 5 qualifiers for us, which basically, because it's an odd number, just eliminates any chance of tie breaks or needing tie breaks. So Dario basically, out of the 4 already, that at the time, he didn't even run the 4th or the 5th race qualifying runs. So that allowed Gilles Grosskamp to take TQ in the 4th round. Gilles ended up, with 2 throwouts, Gilles ended up with 4 points, and Tony Gruber 9 points. Alex Thurston on 11. I think if my memory serves me. Just trying to find the correct page on the MyRCM info. Happened to close the wrong tab. That's great. Ranking lists for quali. So it's Dario and then Gilles on 2 points, Tony Gruber on 9, Alex Thurston on 11. And then those guys have qualified directly into the main final. So we had a nice chat with them yesterday. You can check that out on the EFRA Facebook page. Just search for EFRA on Facebook or RC Motorsport Europe. It's also on the RC Racing TV YouTube channel. So do check that out. You can get their thoughts. And the remaining qualifiers, there was, I think is it 6? Basically, we've got Quentin Leroux, Milan Holthius, Carmina Raiola, Basile Concialdi, Kevin Rasquin, Thilo Diekman, Thomas Guilon, Leon Furman, Melvin Diekman, and Raul Almela Di Cellis. Those are up to position 14 in overall qualifying so far. Overall qualifying period. Those have all gone into the semifinals. And they will be in action tomorrow. Pretty much everyone is here at the track to prepare their wet cars for tomorrow because, as we've seen, they're all mentally prepared for it. No one wants to actually race in the rain. but they're, you know, it's what we've got to deal with. So we're going to be doing that. Bullant in the chat is saying it seems hard to drive in the under the rain. It is literally like driving on ice. I know that's a very common phrase, but yeah. So the 1/16th A is due to set off in 5 minutes. We just have a quick word from our sponsors. We do desperately want to thank our sponsors, X-Ray and Lens Bodies and RCXX Shop, for allowing us to bring you this coverage for free all weekend. No matter what the weather is, we'll be out here in the rain and lightning to bring you this coverage. So let us know who you think is going to be taking, what you think is going to happen in the main final tomorrow. It's a 45-minute final. There's no more Super Pole, but there is a last chance qualifier, last chance race. So I believe it's 12 drivers, 6 racers each from the semifinals. Obviously, the ones that didn't bump up will be going into the last chance final. And that is, I think, a 20-minute final. I'll check that on the EFRA handbook. And basically, the winner of that race gets into the last position on the main final grid. So, obviously, to be in it to win it, you got to be very, very good. But as you can see, the pits, I hear cars revving up. So it's not very often that someone that qualifies 11th is going to be challenging for a podium position or the lead or anything like that, but always a chance. I mean, you saw how difficult it gets, and especially with the wet weather, there's a good chance of, if the chaos and the dice and everything works in your favor, it could work out for you. I'm told, I did overhear that instead of, I think it's a 30-minute final, I think we're going to be getting 20-minute finals. Yes, so it's the top 6 drivers of each semifinal who did not bump up will be in the last chance final, and that's 15 minutes. So there's 3 out of the 10, maximum 12. But probably 10. And there's our drivers in this one. You can see the countries represented. We've got a couple of French racers, Polish racer, I believe, Marcus there. So top 3 in the semis will bump up, and then the top 6 remaining drivers will go into the last chance final. So there's 12 racers in that one. So marshals are being called out. Only 3 drivers have checked in so far. I would hope that if someone made the trip to come here and race at the European Championship, there's car 4 we can see of Haluk Soyurik. from Turkey. We're just waiting and hoping that Lionel Huppert from France is able to join us on the track as well and make this just a bit more interesting of a race. Because in the last race, as you saw in the 1/16B, we only had 4 drivers that started. Very quickly, 2 of them fell out, and then 1 fell out pretty much for the rest of the race, unfortunately, after just a few minutes. And that was our lead racer, our pole position man. And then rain really started falling about halfway through, and a few minutes later the race was called because it was just undrivable. So, and that meant Bob Harley is our first leading bump-up racer. So, okay, so helpfully, out of 4 cars that have checked in, 2 are exactly the same color. That's very helpful, as usual. So 30 seconds to start. 30 seconds. There we go. 2 white cars and 2 yellow cars. Come on. Let's at least have something different. I think we have, is this our lead car? Our pole position car is flamed out. Oh, no, we have 5 cars out there now. Okay, so we have an orange, 2 whites, and 2 yellows. Hadn't seen the orange car out there, I think. But right, so Rabateur, Groder, Vasakova, so Urich and Huppert, who hasn't even checked in yet, so hopefully his transponder's working. Top 3 to bump up. Oh, my God, is that... Okay. I don't think that's going to be counted as a jump start. Oh, he's almost last anyway. Okay, so we're going to follow them through, try and keep them all in one. Ooh, last car is in the grass there, so that's not a good start for... Can't tell who it is. Another one in the grass. So coming across is Groder in first. Rabateur next. Is that going to be Huppert? So it's Vasakova and Suyurich were the ones stuck in the grass temporarily. Vasakova is now crossed. So these 3 cars, and I hate this phrase, but it does apply. If the flag were to drop now, these 3 cars here on camera would be the ones to bump up. The other 2... Okay, let's follow this battle for second, coming down the straight. Oh, it's no longer a battle for second. This is how it goes. There's oh, now it's a battle for second. Coming through the chicane. I believe that's still Rabateur and Huppert. I think, yeah, it's Rabateur in the orange car. I do know that. But we have very rapidly catching up Vasakova. So this here, the orange and the white car coming down the main straight, this is our battle for third. So this is our final bump-up position. This is a proper, real battle on track. Of course, these drivers will all have to pit at about the 4-minute and 15-second mark. Most of the drivers in the dry are doing anywhere from 16 to 18-second laps. So this is our battle for third. Rabateur and Vasakova, well, actually battle for second. Huppert now dropped down to third. But this is our closest battle on track, so we're going to stick with this until we have that yellow car who's just in the background. It's going to be Huppert. Vasakova is one of our, I think, the only lady racer that we've got here. She's from Czech Republic. Not 100% on the brakes, not 100% throttle, just driving it delicate, but it's not as bad as when the track was full wet. Okay, so let's focus on this white car, because I want to just display that, see the black wheels. Those are the black wheels out of the Hot Race foam damp tires. Those are very, very sticky rubber. Very, very sticky. And those are probably, in this condition, probably the best tires to be on because there's no standing water, and the water does drain pretty well off the track. There's just a little bit of sweeping needed by the club volunteers, and it's getting tighter between Rabatur and Vasikova. Huppert still some seconds behind. Has fallen back a little bit. Are they catching the leader now, or is that Suyurek? I think this is all three cars now. Yes, this is Groder is the other white car. So we've got a white, yellow, and white car. At least the white cars are slightly differentiated. Something's happened to Vasikova to slow down a bit, but these three cars, this is our lead battle now. We'll try to remember to do some more camera switching here. We got our second chicane cam right here. So there's our leader, Groder, and then Rabatur, and now Vasikova's caught up again, going down the main straight. This is our battle for second now. These guys all, someone goes wide, and then someone goes wide behind them, and then you see the ebbing and the flowing of the pace here. Every lap is a wildly different lap time. Coming through the final chicane again. Timing line is right there. Oh, and a pit stop for Vasikova. Lots of X-ray racers here. Mr. Hootie as well. So let's see where that puts Vasikova. Definitely down to third now. We've got 4 cars out there. So I think Suyurek. No, Huppert is. Oh, no, all 5. Okay, sorry. I don't have the greatest view out the window. Even though I'm surrounded by screens, I don't have the greatest view out the window, so I can't just pop my head out and just see. So Vasikova still in third, as you can see there. I think, just have a quick look in the pits. No one is pitting at the moment. So we'll go back to our main camera. Vasikova is now caught up to Rabatur. That's the orange number 1. So again, lead battle. So Rabatur must have pitted off camera. Snuck one in. You see gentle driving there around that chicane. There's no standing water on the track. It's just damp and cold. So Vasikova probably on the better tires here. One pit stop down. Just being very ginger. Obviously, this is touring car racing, but there's 2 referees watching all the track action out there. Obviously, a lot easier. Oh, go for it, go for it. There you go. Around, and that's a pass for the lead. And I think that yellow car, here's our pass. You see a little squirrely coming around, and then a little bit on the grass, hook in like a rally driver, and then down the main straight. And just at the end of that, we saw that there was a yellow car on the, I think that was our number 5 car of Huppert, though. Because Groder is another white car with a yellow wing. So this is our battle for second. You see Huppert, I think is that... Huppert is the 5, the yellow. This is the next car behind. But this is our closest battle. Can hear thunder rolling overhead. And I was told by our EFRA section chairman that the only way that we'll be stopping the racing entirely is if there's lightning strikes, which is fair enough. We're in basically a metal structure. So Vasikova around the Omega, coming through our second chicane cam. It's going to be on a full race with 10 or 12 racers, that is going to be a very, very active passing zone. I hope, because that's where our camera is. We're not quite up to spec. Oh, Vasikova slides and allows Rabatur to catch up again. Like I said, the ebbing and flowing of the racing here. Say that again. Coming in, heavy diffs on the fronts and just too much steering while trying to brake. And those really soft rubber tires or foam tires just gripping a bit too much. And then around she went. So this is still our main battle on track. I'm going to see if I can find Groder out there so we can split things up just a little bit. I think Groder is the next white car there. You know, just off the edge of the screen to the right, Jim. Or wait. No. They're coming through there. Let's see who this is because we've got 11, nearly 12 minutes left in this one. This is Groder, our leader. So 3 cars to bump up. And it's the number 2 car of Groder. Doing pretty well. He's about half a lap ahead of Vasikova and Rabatir, who are still together. Keep an eye on them. But because there's only 5 drivers in this one, figure we can make it nice for everybody. So we can. Oh, rain's come down again. You can see the rain on the screen. You can see the rain on screen. Groder here on the damp tires. So good call. Remember again, EFRA officials have declared this a wet race, so they can run any tire that they wish. Any tire that they wish. They can run the dry tires. They can run rubber tires. Just no tire warmers. And this is a lot more rain now. This is a lot more rain. We're going to start to see some very dramatic racing happening. 10 minutes left in this one. 10 minutes, actually 10 and a half minutes left. Look at the water coming down. You can see it on our static cam at the second. Whoa, drifting through that final sweeper onto the main straight. Is he coming in? No, he's not. He's keeping going. Another minute or so, and he'll be in for fuel as well. And look how slow and ginger he's going around that chicane. You can see the reflection of the trees in that first chicane cam. Treacherous, icy conditions. And now this is the time to get the rubber tires on. If your car has even been set up for them. If you even have them available. There's various types of rubber tires. Saw lots of grooved rubber tires out there. So ginger. So is he going to come in? He's not. He's going to keep going. He's feathering the throttle, just going whip, 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 whip down the straight. It's not a steady pace. Whoa! Whoa! That was the technical inspection tent has just blown away underneath us. And that has been bent out of shape. That is not coming back up. So we have some major weather happening. Let's go pan left, Jim, to the 2 cars that are together. Well, they were together. This is Rabatur in our orange car, the number 1. Very, very slow lap times indeed for everybody. Groder, Vasikova, Rabatur. If the race were to be called right now, that is our bump-up positions. Drivers are standing about 10 feet back from where they were so they don't get rained on. I'm pretty sure the radios aren't waterproof. Officials deciding what they need to do at this moment. Those foam tires not doing anyone any favors right now. They are still essentially slicks. They're very, very soft slicks, but they're still slicks. Look at that. So ginger. And look at this. This is the bow waves coming off the car at the front of the splitter. Oh, and the wind, more wind. You can see waves in the rain now and the spots on our camera lens. This is the heaviest rain that we've seen all week since we've been here at least. And now you can see the standing water in the pits. That is proper standing water, deep puddles. And I believe everyone has come in now. Okay, so at the moment, so we paused the race.
Yes.
Okay.
We were trying to get to 15 minutes.
Yes.
But then it became too heavy.
Okay.
If we got to 15, we can call it.
Yes.
But now we have to restart with 7:21 when the weather improves.
Right. Okay. So just being confirmed that the race is merely paused, is not stopped. Pull it back. Pull it back. Jim, just clip the tripod off and pull it back. So, yes, as you can tell, quite pretty hectic here. We've got timing, we've got all of our streaming equipment, all the computers, lots and lots of, and the sound equipment as well for the club. So the race has been paused, and there's 7 minutes and 21 seconds remaining on the race clock. So what the officials were trying to do is, if you're familiar with red flag situations in MotoGP and F1, trying to get to a particular point in the race, which in our case was 15 minutes, where the race can be paused and then restarted. So we weren't able to do that. We were trying to get to, or they were trying to get to 15 minutes. So obviously we were not able to. So we're now basically the program, the entire race program is on pause. Until the rain, until the track at least is viable to drive on again. And if that doesn't happen, I believe there is a rain procedure, which I'm sure EFRA officials have been reviewing all week long. I'm just refreshing my memory. I believe it's if there's a 60-minute delay, they can call it. So that was what we call in Texas a cloud burst. It has calmed down a bit, as you can see, just a tiny bit. But it has calmed down a bit. Just trying to find the actual rain procedure here. This rain procedure during qualifying. The rain procedure for subfinals. So as I said, because this race was declared a wet race, the drivers have the option, and well, you know, you kind of figure if you're going to come to any European Championships, you're going to have a second car. That will be your wet car. So they have the option to use a second car. Only they can use it. Yes, so here's rain interruptions. In the case of a race which is interrupted for more than 60 minutes or reasons beyond the control of the organizers, the referees, together with the race director, will decide whether to cancel or continue the meeting. In the case of an interruption of a sub-final or main final, the following procedures will be used. If less than 10 minutes of the final has been run, the results will be cancelled and a new start time given for the total time of the final. If more than 10 minutes have been run, the results at the moment of interruption will be kept. The new start will be given for the time which remains to complete the final. Vehicles may not be repaired before the new start. So hopefully technical inspection is holding on to those cars that have been racing just a few minutes ago. The two results will be added to give the final and definitive placing. So basically two separate races. The second start cannot be made for any reason. The results from the first part will be used as the final and definitive placing. So the 75% rule is when the interruption takes place after 75% or more of the race is passed, which happened in the first final, the 1/16 B, the results as at the time of the interruption become the final result, which is what happened. So they were, yes, it was pretty bad to drive in, but they allowed the racers to keep driving and then declared the race once we hit, I think it was 16 minutes. So, as you can see, the rain's almost completely stopped. This camera that we're watching right now is completely out in the open. There's nothing covering it, apart from a plastic bag. Don't worry, Matt and James. All the equipment's protected underneath that. But the other cameras that we've got are, well, basically undercover. So just to give you a reminder of what we were experiencing just literally, I don't even know how many minutes ago, just a few minutes ago. This is the driving that we were seeing earlier, just a few minutes ago. Look at we've got a bow wave, we've got stripes in the lines in the, look at bouncing, literally bouncing off the ground. And now we've got this. This is what the whole event has been like. It's been crazy. And now we've got the club volunteers out sweeping the track with the solid rubber brooms. I hesitate to call them brooms. That they're more like, I don't know, what you just, anyone who's ever volunteered at a track will know what I mean. But it's not the brooms, but the rubber brooms that squeegees. There we go. That's the word I was searching for desperately. So while we just try to figure out what else is happening, let's hear from our sponsors for just a minute. Right, so we do want to thank Mr. Nicola Morone and Mr. Hootie and all of the Hootie team for helping sponsor this race. X-Ray, Lens Bodies, and RCXX Shop. This is, believe it or not, the EFRA 1/10 IC Track European Championships for 2024. And comment in the chat, is this a boat race or no? Well, it's what we've got. It'd be great, you know, when the F1 teams are at like Honda, not Honda, Suzuka or Singapore or whatever, and they're floating paper boats down the pit lane. That's what it's like. I mean, have a look. Oh no, we got a plastic bag over our pit lane camera, but there's one of our cameras. You can hear the leaf blower. Helping to blow water off the track. There's our other external camera. The other two cameras are completely covered with plastic bags at the moment because even though when the rain that we were having earlier today, earlier this week, the past couple of days it was fine. It was, but this is the first time we've actually had windy rain come down, which has just been crazy. So yes, so here we are. You're going to have a second race start. I'm not sure if they're going to start in the qualifying order or in the order of 2, 5, 1, 3, 4, as you can see on the screen. It doesn't matter a massive amount, but obviously it will matter to the racers. So it should matter to everybody. You see that that last chicane has just so much water underneath it. That is a big puddle. So yes, here we are. And 1776 Patriot, I'm going to guess you're American. saying, ain't no way I'd run a $1,000 RC in the rain. Well, you should have seen the photos from the large-scale off-road Euros last year. Absolutely. Imagine $2,000 or $3,000 RCs covered in the thickest clay-type mud that you can imagine, and just absolutely just brown heaps driving around absolutely soaked track. So yeah, this is what we've got to deal with. Again, I do apologize. It's pretty crazy. So we'll see what else. Let me see what else I can run down. We're meant to have, this is supposed to be the 1/16th Sioux final, or the 1/16th sub final. It will be restarting, and we'll have 7 minutes and 21 seconds, which is left on the original clock. We'll have that as basically, from what I understand of reading the rules, is basically a second race, because we were trying to get to the 15 or 16 second minute mark of the 20 minutes. No, 15, because that would be 75%. So, yeah, 15 minutes. If we had been able to, if the rain had come literally 2.5 minutes later, we would have been able to just declare this race finished, and our top qualifier, or our bump-up racers would be Groder, Hooper, and Rabateur, which would be unfortunate for Vasikova, because she was definitely running second for quite some time. But as it is, she'll get another chance to bump up, and I dare say probably have a pretty good run at it. Now, technically, they're not allowed to restart anything or redo anything, work on their cars during this break. So I do hope that that has been followed. Top qualifiers are going directly into the main final, which will be tomorrow, no matter what the weather conditions are. It's Dario Balestre from Italy, Jillis Grosskamp from the Netherlands, Tony Gruber from Germany, and Alex Thurston from the UK. So a nice spread of not just, I mean, in some ways, yes, it's kind of the usual sorts of suspects. I mean, Gruber is our defending European champion. Balestre TQ'd it last year. Thurston is always in the A final. And in the running, Jillis Grosskamp, he's European champion in eighth track, and he's always in the A final as well. He was in the A final last year as well. All these guys were in the A final, so it's kind of the same sorts of characters that we know, but different cars. Well, I mean, there are two Infinity cars, one Capricorn with Gruber, and a Mugen with Alex Thurston. So I'm sure racers who know these drivers from their national and club meetings will be cheering them on and hoping they do the best. I'm sure they'll give it their all. And after today, I'm sure they've got their second cars already all sorted out with a little bit extra grease in the bearings, a lot extra silicone sealant around the electrical connections. The main things for the weather like this is the tires. Obviously, as we were describing earlier, they can run open tires, basically any tires that they want, whether it's grooved rubber tires of any compound, and I believe any tire compound sauce, or in damp conditions, there's the black wheeled very, very soft foam tires. But I think if we were to put cars on the track at this second, you would need to have the grooved rubber tires, because there's still just little bits, skins of very thin, shallow bits of standing water on the track, as you can see there. on the screen now. So all the guys who have gone straight into the semis and the finals are all they're getting ready to go. So let's run through the semifinal B, which is going to be the first one that we see tomorrow. Actually, let's go ahead and just do our quarterfinals. This will be, we've got plenty of time. See if I can find it now. Do sometimes get a little bit lost on this MyRCM screens. So you can find the live timing and all of the drivers and schedules on the myrcm.ch. So we're hoping to get to the 1/8 B and the 1/8 A today. So let's see. Just trying to find the list of drivers for the finals. I'm just clicking the wrong things. Meanwhile, while I am doing this, which is absolutely fascinating radio, please do check out rcracingtv.com. For the course of the weekend, we have a cool discount code, which I will put in the chat now, of it's 10 capital ICTC, so 110, well 10 ICTC on rcracingtv.com. And you get 10% off of any of the merch stuff on the rcracingtv.com. So check that out. And you also, if you were to join as a hero, you also get another 10% code. If you become a hero, you get a one-time use code. You also get to have a cool little logo next to your name. You get a highlighted name in the live chat and also on video comments. So that's always fun. You also, so I don't know why that has popped up. It's a bit weird. You also get advanced viewing capabilities of when we do things like RC Autopsy. You can watch that a couple weeks ahead of time. Anthony Johnson saying, must be rain season. Yes, well, unfortunately, even though it's, we're headed into summer if we're not already. I can't remember when equinox is. Yeah, every season is rain season these days. Mr. Ruff is saying, wow, I never ran my RS4 in the rain. You probably wouldn't have wanted to, but yeah. HPI, we did have some cool like V-groove tires. Those are really cool. My favorites were the X38 tires. The Yokohama, I can't remember what the actual AO38s is what they were a replica of, but we called them the X pattern. And we will definitely be having some top tier racing back live for you very soon. So just not sure when people are popping in to watch the viewing. So I do apologize if I'm repeating myself more often than I usually am. But just so you know what's happening, we do have a rain delay. We did have the 1/16 A finals on track. And then we had literally boatloads of rain come down from the heavens. And now we've got, look at that, we've got blue sky. We have white colored clouds. The club here is doing a fantastic job clearing the water as quickly as possible. It's always great to see a well-organized club stocked with eager volunteers and helpers to make sure the championships here for EFRA, the European Federation of Radio-Controlled Automobiles. This is the 2024 1/10th IC Track European Championships that we hope to get back underway. And now the sun is out from behind the clouds. No telling how long it's actually going to be out. And there we go, just our message, just to make sure that it's absolutely clear. We do have a rain delay. So we were running a 20-minute sub-final, is what all of the sub-finals called. We have the final, the main final, or just final, and then we have the semi-final. There's 2 of those, and those feed drivers into the top 3 or 4 racers, and those go into the main final. Underneath those is all of the sub-finals. And if there's lots and lots of racers, we have all the way down to 1 in 1,024th. And it's a bit like computer memory from back in the old days, if you're that old, if you're as old as me. So the 512, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, we don't have enough drivers to do that, so we went down to a 1/16th A final and a 1/16th B final, which ran first. That one was paused after the 15-minute mark because there's a rule in the EFRA handbook about after 75% of the race has been run, the officials and the referee can cancel the race, call it finished, and say, and that is it.
The new start grid is 2, 5, 1, 3, and 4.
So we're just getting an announcement from Vito, one of our EFRA officials here for the weekend, that the remainder of this race, which is what I was getting to. Like I said, I'm just trying to fill time with some information here, and I do apologize if I'm repeating myself. But this race didn't actually make it to the 15-minute mark before it was called and canceled and stopped. So the rain was just way too heavy, and we'll just have another little replay of what the weather was like. Look at this here. That's what look at the bow wave, the lines in the standing water, the raindrops bouncing back up off of the tarmac. That's what the weather was like. And now look at it. We've got bright sunlight, blue skies, and white clouds, where before it was absolutely, I wouldn't say pitch black, but it was very, very dark. It was not pleasant. So anyway, we didn't make it to the 15-minute. You can see that we made it to 7 minutes and 21 seconds left. So we missed it by, 2 minutes and 21 seconds? If the rain had come down 2 or 3 minutes later, we may have been able to call this race and just go, okay, this is our finishing order. As it is, the rules say if we're not able to make that 75% mark, if we're not able to, then it is stopped, and then a second race is run with the new starting order, as I said before, of 2, 5, 1, 3, 4. So it's Groder, Huper, Rabotier, Vasakova, our lone lady racer here for the week, and Soyurik from Turkey, I'm pretty sure. So this is our basically 2 races, and then they'll combine the results, and that will be the official finishing order of the 1/16th A final here in Thionville, France. So we're just south of Luxembourg, about an hour south of Luxembourg City itself, where we flew into. Neil Wallace in the chat is saying, we do welcome everyone in the chat, whether you're watching us on the EFRA or RCTV Facebook pages, or the EFRA or RCTV YouTube channels. We are able to see the chat. Do you know, Neil is asking, do you know what rubber tires are being used? Well, basically, no, I don't. I can ask because pretty much everyone's running the same rubber tires if they are using rubber tires for the wet. So now the drivers we've got about 10 minutes left before the race starts. It's going to be a 2-minute warm-up and then a 7-minute and 21-second race. So again, if you're familiar with the rain stoppage procedures for MotoGP and F1 and stuff like that, it's very, very similar. Those obviously those are the pinnacle sorts of events, and I can actually see steam coming off of the look at, you can just about see it on the camera. I'll see if the other camera or other still picks it up just a bit. Look at that. You can just see it in the darkness. You can see the steam coming off of the track. So these drivers now thinking, well, look how wet it is. I'm going to run my rubber treaded tires. They might be wanting to run the foam, the very, very soft foam damp tires, sort of like intermediate tires. So they're still slick, but they're just really, really, really soft tires. And we saw drivers, because the race, this particular race, the 1/16A, was already declared a wet race before we even started. There were drivers that were out on the hot race damp weather tires. So we'll see what we're able to, we'll just see. I don't know. It's a big decision. It's a big decision, trust me, because we saw the similar sort of thing happen although it wasn't, we didn't have a race delay like we have here, but we had a similar sort of thing happen at the large-scale touring car Euros in the Netherlands last year, where just before the race, there was a big rain shower, and because, the time is the time, it's just decided. The officials go, well, it's a wet race now, so use whatever tires you want. Oh, well, actually, they can use whatever tires they want already. There's no spec tire in large-scale touring car, I believe. So half the field went out on wets, like the extreme wets, like really soft, grooved rubber tires, and half the field went out on dry tires, the normal dry tires, and just hoped that it didn't rain anymore. No one knew what it was going to do. Everybody, it's a similar sort of thing that we've had all week long here. Any person that has a smartphone, which is everybody, looks at their weather app and goes, well, my weather app that I like to use says it's going to do this. And the guy next to him goes, well, my weather app says the weather's going to do this in the next hour. So how do you decide? And the racers, they don't like to run in the rain. They don't like to race in the rain. Obviously, they're experienced with it, because just from living in Holland or Scandinavia or UK or wherever where it rains quite a lot, it's, you get used to driving in the weather, but you don't want your championship to be decided by just random weather. So a bit like the old Bernie Eccleston, let's put sprinklers on the track and just turn them on whenever we want. The question in the comments are, where are the timings posted for this? If you go to myrcm.ch, you can see the official times. Obviously, the time schedule for today is completely off now. We did start on time. But let's see where we're at with our other cameras. There's our pit camera. Now, if you remember what that looked like before, that was an absolute river. There's our second chicane camera. You can see still more steam coming off. The wind is picking up again, so that's going to help dry off things. So what would you do? Would you run damp tire? I mean, there's even actually a dry bit of track just at the crack of where you can see on camera there. That crack in the tarmac. They're asking for marshals to come out. I thought some drivers would be in pits. I hear lots of cars revving up. And yes, fingers crossed for the rest of... Oops. fingers crossed for the rest of the program today. You still see some wet spots on the main camera, but you can also see dry spots. So what would you do? Look at the steam coming off of the track in that first banking corner. So cars being revved up. There's the mechanics. I'm pretty sure we're going to have all 5 cars out. Technically, they were not allowed to be wrenching on the cars or doing anything on them to repair. So I'm sure that was looked at closely. So here's our first major passing zone here. This is our first chicane, and that leads into the arrowhead, which you can see in the middle of the screen there. To the left of that is what I like to call the Omega, and it goes into a hairpin. And then it goes into this section here, which is our second. Of course, it's quite bright, but that's just because the sun is shining at us directly into the camera there. So starting order for this one is going to be Groder, Huppert, Roberture, Vasikova, and Soyuruk. For 7 minutes, I would be using the Hot Race damp foam tire. So this is a lot more drama than we were planning for a 5-car race. You know, one of the bottom finals of here at the European Championships for 1/10 IC track. We're at the Model Club Thionvillois. So thank you everybody for joining us. We'll just do once again, because this piece of replay is just insane. This is what the track was like about. I'll try and figure out the timings, but it was about, 30-40 minutes ago? This is what the track was like as they're coming out. So this is just warm-up. We're not missing anything. But this is what the track was like a few minutes ago. Undrivable. And you can see that's at the 8-minute mark, roughly. And now, here we go. This is what we've got. Still someone went in the grass, but, you know, it's that's understandable. So we're going to have about 1.5 minutes left of warm-up. I'll just go to the live timing, which is available, again, on myrcm.com. And we'll just hear very quickly from our sponsors. So once again, thank you very much to our sponsors, RCXX Shop, Lens Bodies, and X-Ray, bringing you the EFRA 1/10 IC Track European Championships. I haven't even introduced ourselves. We are RC Racing TV. I'm Frank McKinney. We got Jim Little on camera. We got Matt McCallum back in the studio. We have drivers and mechanics in the pits. Absolutely no stress down there, I'm sure. You can see Mechanics getting ready and heading out onto the grid. Now remember, they're not starting in number order. They're not going to be starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, there are only 5 racers in this one. It looks like, do we have a 5th racer? Is he dropped out? I think we're missing our 5th driver then. That would be Sayuruk in the car 4. So, oh no, there he is. Sayuruk in the yellow car. Okay, so again, 5 drivers, only 3 bump up. Only 3. And it looks like we have 1 on the damp foams. That's Sayuruk in the back yellow car. Everyone else looks like they're on yellow, the rubber rain tires. We'll see how that works out for him. So we'll just follow the group around. First time into the big chicane. Avoiding that damp patch right on the inside line there. Oh, someone in the grass. I think that's Sayuruk. Maybe a little bit too much water. We'll see. 7 minutes and 21 seconds. So we'll follow the leading pair out just for a lap or so, and then we'll concentrate on the battle for 3rd, because that is going to be our bump-up battle. So again, into that first corner, and there's battle for 3rd. Coming around the arrowhead. Groder and Vasikova. Vasikova doing really well. Actually, it's Vasikova leading, so she's doing great. Running an X-ray. Coming through our second chicane camera. And there's our second battle for 3rd, which we're going to drop back to, Jim. The orange car and the yellow car has just spun around and just deleted our battle for 3rd. But actually, it's just a temporary hold, because in these sorts of conditions, we don't know what is going to happen. Let's go to the orange car, because if this car falls off, suddenly we're going to have a very tight battle for 3rd. But now this is Raboteur, the only orange car out there, luckily. Rapidly catching up to Vasikova. Groder maintaining or taking back his position that he had before. So this is basically the same race that we had about 30-40 minutes ago. The exact same positions. And the same, little tight there. Nice pass. That's a pass, a real pass on the track. Coming through straight through. On, I think that's Groder actually, isn't it? Oh no, that is, oh now they're all mixed up. We'll come back from a replay and the order is all completely different again. This is what happens in a 5-car battle. So, mild reset. Let's see who crosses over first. So, Yurik, it looks like he's fallen off. So, Vasikova is leading. I think what's happening here is it's the old Martin Brundle line of hope is outpacing adhesion or something along those lines. Groder back taking over. So, okay, so Groder is he going down the straight? So we are with Vasikova for sure. I think Groder's just come off. There's someone coming back very slowly from a Marshall. And another spin out for Raboteur in that orange car. Oh, and a spin for Vasikova. Vasikova in that green, yellow, and white. And there's 2 yellow cars, so we'll see which. That's Huppert in the car 5 has leaped up to the 3rd place. So Raboteur is at the moment the loser in this one, the first loser, because running 4th is not where you want to be. So Huppert is 3rd. So how is this working? We're definitely on car 3, and that's Vasikova. Like, where is Groter? A bit lost here. So, cart 1 is the orange. Huppert is the car behind the car that we're following. Oh no, Huppert's fallen off in the yellow car.
3 minutes to go. Number 2, 3, and 5. 1 and 4. In the lead 2, number 2.
So 1 and 4, the referee is saying, is currently the ones not to bump up. That's Rabatur and Suyurik. I think Suyurik is, just completely gone. I don't think he's crossed the line at all. Groter is on the computer with 32 laps. Katka Vasikova, 31. The next 3 cars are all on 31 laps, so Groter is just running along. There's Vasikova coming in for a pit. So the one and only pit. So his car's doing about 4 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer because they're not on, when the track conditions are like this. It's cooler. They don't have to run very lean. This gaggle of cars are basically, these are our bump ups. Rabatur in the orange car, who's off screen at the moment, is our only car that's on track that is not bumping up at the moment, if the flag were to drop now. So, Vasikova, okay, so they're all together. They're all in the same lap, these guys. So the orange car has just passed, of Rabatur, has just passed, was that Vasikova? No, it's not, it's Groter, I think, who fell off there. Let's stick with the orange car and the white car in front of it with the green bits. So battle for third. At the moment, yes. So this is, they're on the same lap. And they are, throw a blanket over them. They're that close. This is a real proper battle. Oh! Rabatur, I think, a local favorite, making a nice pass here through the arrowhead. Tiny bit of contact, but it didn't really affect anything. And then Vasikova goes onto the grass after that without any contact from Rabatur. So Rabatur is in the final bump-up position to go into the 1/8A final. So this is Rabatur chasing down Huppert now. I'm going to guess another local racer. Of course, the host nation usually has an extra allotment, I think. I would have to confirm this, but I think they have an extra allotment usually of drivers. Call them wild cards, like in MotoGP, where they haven't necessarily qualified, but they're able to register, and this is the final lap. So Huppert and Rabatur have both finished, so that's Vasikova is the one to miss out on this one. So Groter, Huppert, and Rabatur are going to be bumping up into the 1/8A final. So good job for them. I think that was Rabatur or Huppert, one of them running a Shepherd, Vasikova running a an X-Ray out of the Czech Republic. So there we go. We've finally finished that race after an hour. It literally started at 2 o'clock local time. So here we are at 2:58 local time. Right, so back to the chat. Any questions? No questions, but if you do have any questions, let me know. If you want to look up the actual rules of how everything is meant to be happening, that's on EFRA.ws, and there's a section on the page there called Rules and Regulations, and you can download just the section for the 1/8, 1/10, and GT8 classes.
Okay, 10 minutes delay. 5 minutes. Okay, now start to prepare.
So race officials just discussing when to start the next race, because the next race is going to be the 1/8B, which is going to be, I think it's going to be 10 racers. But it also includes 3 racers from the 1/16B, which ran about an hour and a quarter ago. Normally there'd be about 45 minutes or so between, so just extra time. In the meanwhile, let's have a word from our sponsors. Okay, and we are back. We do, of course, want to thank our generous sponsors, Lens Bodies, X-Ray, and RCXX Shop, for helping us, RCTV, bring you, all of you out there, this EFRA 1/10 scale IC track European Championships for 2024. We are in, actually just outside of Thionville, France. And there we go. There's our first list of the drivers who are going to be in this race, which is the 1/16 A final. And we're going to have 3 French racers, 2 Turkish racers, 4 Turkish, 4 French, Bob Harley, our lone Brit, and a couple more Turkish racers. So that is Aurélien Vicon, Jules Kurguidov, Thomas Notte, Mert Koroglu, Yunus Sahin, Peter Da Silva, Ali Kankalis, Robert Harley, Super Bob, Doric Turke, and Omer Sahin. So those are our drivers in this one. And once again, only the top 3 will be bumping up. So like we usually do here on RC Racing TV, we'll follow for the first couple of laps. We'll follow the general action going around, but then we'll start to concentrate on the battle for third, if there should be one. If there is no battle, then we'll just move around and try and spot battles around on track. But this is going to be a 20-minute race, just like the last couple of races were supposed to be. Hopefully no more rain. We did know that some rain was going to fall, but the program has to continue. So organizers decided, well, we'll just, if it looks like it, we're going to declare it a wet race and go from there. Okay, so just announcing 7 minutes before the start. So it's at 15:10 local time. It's Central European time. So once again, if you want to check out the latest RCTV merch, do check that out on rcracingtv.com. We do have a really fun, handy code for everybody to use. It's 10ICTC. That is in the chat on the RCTV YouTube channel. And you can get 10% off any RCTV merch on the rcracingtv.com merch channel, merch page. So feel free to check that out. Nice and bright out. No hint of the, thunderstorm that we had about an hour ago. It's all gone. So, who are the top qualifiers? I hear everyone asking. Well, Be happy to read that out to you. I can tell you from memory, you can check out those. All 4 of the top drivers who went directly to the main final, and that's Dario Balestre, Yilis Grosskamp, Tony Gruber, our reigning and current European champion in this class. Balestre is our current 1/8 European champion for on-road. And then also starting for 4th, because the 4 drivers from qualifying, top 4 drivers from qualifying, go directly into the main final. That's Alex Thurston. Now, last year we had Superpole for the last couple of years, but the RC federations across Europe took a vote at the EFRA AGM that took place towards the end of last year, the annual general meeting, and decided we don't like Superpole. We want to go back to the way it was, but swap Superpole for a last chance final. And so what that does basically is it makes things a bit easier for racers. If this was a normal race today, well, tomorrow would be today, and today would be finals day, so all the finals would be run in one day. So all these drivers would have had to do with if we still had Superpole, they basically wouldn't have been on track until the Superpole, which meant they would have been setting up their cars and very importantly, engines. They would have had like really high power, their best engine in for the Superpole setup, and they basically had about maybe 5 laps. You know, there'd be 3 minutes of warm up for each driver, and then 5 laps, and then that's it. And then they take that engine out and they put in their race engine, which is, you know, more fuel consumptive, or better for fuel consumption. I mean, or there's all sorts of issues that happen with that, and you know, it's another set of tires. There's all sorts of things like that. This way, now the way it is for 2024, the top qualifier still goes into the main final, but also the next 3 drivers, they don't have a Superpole. They don't need an extra special engine. You know, these engines are hundreds of pounds, $100 euros each. So they're in. They don't have any racing to do today. They're just prepping their race car, their wet race cars, and carry on. And of course, you know, support, practice let their mechanics practice their pitting. We saw some of that happening earlier with Massimo, who is well, there's 2 Massimos in Dario Balestre's team. There's Massimo from Max Power, who's his engine guy, and Massimo, his mechanic. And not that Dario's wandering around, you know, sucking down granite and gelato and all that, but he's working on his car as well. But he's got Massimo on one side and Massimo on the other, working on his rebuilding engines and rebuilding cars and stuff like that. We can still see some of the moisture, the water vapor coming off the track, and I think we're going to be having a dry setup. I think it's going to be declared wet, but obviously the racers will decide whether they want to use which tires they want to use. So 2 minutes before warm-up starts, Goke Aktan saying, good luck everyone with the Turkish flags. I'm going to assume that you mean mostly the Turkish racers, which is fine. That's the lovely thing about the European Championships. We see racers from all over Europe. And we have a lot of Turkish racers in this particular race coming up. Okay, it sounds like we have a 3-minute delay now. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Now, of course, at any time, racers can call a 10-minute delay, which means usually is a technical issue. Actually, I'm not sure if it's allowed in the semifinals like these. I think only in the semi and the main. And there's our pit cam. Someone making a rude gesture. Hopefully he was just waving. So of course the racers and mechanics allowed to choose whichever marshal mechanic position they want. So that very first one there, where you see the guy with the stylish shoes standing to the left, that's not necessarily going to be position number 1 for the finals, where Balestre's mechanic team are going to be stood. There's a mechanic enjoying a plate of chips, or frites in the local parlance. I'm pretty sure I heard a delay of 3 minutes. Okay, now it's open. Track is open. And there's our first corner. Again, you can see the blue skies. First real corner, I should say. And some of that vapor there you can see is smoke. Some of it is nitro fumes. It's starting to come through the second chicane. This leads onto the main straight. And drivers starting to cross the line. I think there was a bit of a hiccup there with the timing, so a bit of a delay on getting the transponder checks through. Still waiting for Jules. There he goes. He crosses the line now. So there's our runners and riders. This one you can see it's mostly, well, it's basically half French, half Turkish. Super Bob Harley, the only Brit in this one. I know we have some Super Bob fans out there, but whoa, we followed him quite a lot in his 1/16th B final. So we're probably not going to be able to follow him in this one very much unless he's challenging for third. Top 3 places will be bumping up into the 1/4 B final. And that is going to be tomorrow. So I haven't actually mentioned that. The quarterfinals, the semis, the last chance final, and the main final are all tomorrow. I'll try to remember to check the schedule live on the stream after this race, but you can check out for yourself and see what the times are supposed to be at the moment. Of course, we may have rain delays like we had today. So here's our mechanics heading out to the grid. French Federation president, I believe, is the one who's waving the start flag, which is, of course, the French flag, just like Le Mans. So 10 racers out there. Okay, the countdown has started. Have to sit back. Oh, and a bad start for the number 2 car. Coming through the first corner. Very tight chicane. You can see the banking there affecting things. Another one on the grass. Lead car of Vicone, I'm sure, knows his way around the track. We've got a tight battle for second already. Oh, and already off into the grass. I think that was Koroglu. So this is our battle for third. Yes, though, the white and the orange car going into the chicane there. It's going to be Notte leading and Koroglu in the 4. So it's already getting a bit of a gap. Let's go to that battle for second coming down the main straight. This white car chasing down the orange and blue. I'm just going to chance it and say those are the French colors. Is that the car 6 in second, De Silva? Battle for second, coming around the Omega. And into the chicane there. That's Notte. Down the main straight goes De Silva into that first corner. The tight chicane. Looks like it lost power there. Bit of a strange one. Very slow. Oh, and it's spinned for Notte. So now we have a battle for third. So this is our important battle. The white and yellow car with the blue and white car. I believe it's going to be Callis, but there was some position changes in that final bit, or in that first chicane. So it's Note, then Sahin. Okay, so Sahin is in fourth. He's gone on the grass. So that's kind of negated that battle for a moment. But let's stick with this white and yellow and red car coming around the Omega, because if this car goes off, it's Note. De Silva and Kuroglu have swapped positions at the lead. But Note, who's just crossing now, and not going full speed down the straight. You can hear them lifting off halfway down the straight just to coast it through and feather the throttle through that sweeper at the end. So the next car behind is not Sahin. The Sahin is the white and blue car just at the bottom of the pick. Oh, now, there we go. There's a spin. And we had, and another one. Oh, and the Sahin goes on the grass and loses loads of time. And now it's gotten very tight indeed. This is our battle for third. Note and Sahin. This is our final bump-up position going around the Omega, around the hairpin, into the final chicane, and then down the straight. Not going anywhere near as fast as they were yesterday. Very tight and tender around that. Another car stricken on the grass. They're not worried about it, though. Around the hairpin, another battle going on behind them. I think that's lap traffic, actually. So Note and Sahin almost nose to tail coming into this corner here. Such a tight chicane, and it's difficult to see from the rostrum as well. You have elevation changes and dips that happen in the at the apexes of these turns. Makes it very, very challenging for the drivers. Sahin now behind by a few seconds. A couple seconds. Threatens to get close and then makes just a tiny mistake, which is very, very easy to do. It's a fairly smooth track, but as we saw, it drains relatively quickly. Sahin still running fourth in that number 5. A lot closer now. Very brave, getting braver and braver on the brakes as it goes into that first turn. A little bit of a bobble over the chicane there. Coming into the first chicane. You can see how it's possible to straight line it, but these guys going very, very safe and avoiding the curbing at all costs. We've seen some drivers have to give up positions that they accidentally made, gained an advantage to use the F1. And we're going into the pits. Here's our first pits. First pit stops. And third and fourth coming in at the same time. So no dramas, it seems. Sahin has lost a little bit of position there, though. You can see the blue flash behind. Note still showing as third, but we'll see what the computer says. Loads of cars coming through that final chicane. There's Sahin just coming through now. So Note still showing third. Now it's Vicoin in the car 1. So, and Note has crashed out, so he's out of third. So let's move up to this next group. Next group, there we go. One of these 3 cars is our new third place and fourth place challengers. So Vicoin and Note is now running fourth. Vicoin in the car 1. I'm going to guess it's that yellow car. Can't quite see the number just yet. Jim doing a valiant job in trying to... Where's the number? The number should be on the side of the car, but we'll see as he comes across. I'm pretty sure this is Vicoin. Yes, it is. So Vicoin crosses the line and pops up in the turquoise color. It just says it has the number like way up in the rear window of the car rather than the door. It's fine. There's Bob. Bob gets a moment on TV once again after several minutes on RCTV earlier in the day. So we've got Da Silva, Karoglu, Vicone, Note, Kurguida, Sahin, Callis, another Sahin, or the other Sahin who was in our first race with Bob, and then Bob Harley, and then Turkey running in 10th at the moment. Okay, this is lap traffic, that car 10. So we're still with Vicone. Is it Vicone? Is that correct? The pronunciation? Vicone? Viconia. Okay. I have to work on it, but I'm surrounded by French guys, and I don't want to mess up a French racer's name for 20 minutes. So around the hairpin into that second chicane that leads on to the main straight. As you can see, there's the finish line. Into the first set of, look at those S's, it's crazy. And we'll see what the estimated time is. Aurelien Viconia. And we will sort out the, we are aware that the camera does seem to be flickering a bit. We'll, a multitude of technical issues with the rain, I'm sure. So we'll sort that out as soon as we can after this race. We're almost halfway through this one, which means we're almost due for a second pit stop. Not coming in this time. And I think that's, oh no, that was possibly a battle. That was just ahead. I was just going to say maybe we move forward to that for a little bit. But, oh, upside down car in the grass there. Hopefully the marshals are able to get to him quick. Da Silva, Vicone. That was Karoglu who was actually upside down, I believe, because now Vicone has taken over. So now let's drop back. That's Super Bob. He's just passed. Let's wait there, Jim. Wait there, Jim. And zoom out a bit and go left. And let's see if we can pick up the car 4 and 3. I think it's going to be these. That is a very familiar car of Note, who I think is taken over third now. And I think that yellow car behind is Karoglu. This is our battle. Yes, that is our battle for third now. This is our very tight battle. So this is our battle for the final bumper position. And Karoglu is just fishtail coming out of the S's. Around the hairpin now. Still damp in places, as you can see, as Karoglu, no, that's Note has gone into pit. So we'll stay with him and see where Karoglu has yet to pit, I believe. And we'll see where they come out together, if they come out together again. So we'll stay with Note here in the white, red, and yellow. And it could be that Karoglu is now in the pit. And they may come out together. No, they're not. But Karoglu, I think, is that yellow car ahead. Just there. Because Karoglu's showing second now, so he hasn't stopped. And Viconia has stopped, it seems. Or crashed out. Ooh, Bob. Good getting on the brakes there. Again, we are going to try and fix this flickering and see if we can sort it out. I do apologize. 9 minutes left in this one. Karoglu is just crossed. Viconia is just crossed. So we're on the 4th place car of Note now. So, okay. Jim, if we move forward about 3 cars to the yellow car, the next yellow car in the queue, okay, well, these 2 cars. One of these is Viconia in the car 1. I think it's... Oh, is that a body tuck? I think it's the first car is Viconia. Because I'm pretty sure, yes, there's no numbers on the side, so I think that's Viconia. Now running 10, third again. Oh, and a crash with... Oh, now we have a battle. So that second yellow car and the white and red car, that's our battle for third. Our final bump-up position. So there we go. Forward two. Those two. Coming through the chicane onto the main straight. This is our battle for third. You can see Viconia and Notte. Both oh, and where'd Notte go? Where did Notte go? He's gone off. Let's go. Oh, and Sahin has crashed into him. Okay, let's find Viconia again. Forward to the yellow car. And he's coming to pits. This is Viconia in the pit, car number 1. Running third. Let's stick with him for a lap or two and see where he is sorted out in this mess. That's the car 4, the other yellow car. Sorry, Jim. This car here is our car number 1 of Aurelian Viconia. Yes, Sahin pits in front of him. There's 2 different Sahins in this one from Turkey. Karoglu now showing in third. So Notte has lost. Viconia has moved up to 4th. Sorry. So Karoglu now running third. Notte in 4th. So in all the confusion, as we were saying, during the pit stop cycles, things will be moving around. So we'll stay with the lead yellow car here, the number 1 of Aurelian Viconia. And I think that's the car 10 that's just ahead of him. So will be lap traffic. That is the 0. Ooh, that is tight. Let's see that again. Very tight. Hard on the brakes. Not wanting to pass. Not sure where that number 10 is going to go. And then the other car comes around underneath trying to get a lap back. And he does. So Viconia running second. Karoglu still third. And when is he going to cross? Karoglu is just crossed now. So I'm not sure which car it is going to be. So Jim, just coming onto the straight, I think at the end of the straight is going to be the blue and pink car. Blue and pink is this one. I think this is Karoglu. Car 6. This is actually our leader of Da Silva, who we haven't shown, so it's okay. We've got 5 minutes. We'll show our leader for just for a little bit while I try and find the car number 4 of Karoglu. He's due to cross any second. So if we wait at the chicane there, should be the next car to come across. It's going to be either the white or the... I think it's going to be this white car that's just come out of the S's. The car 2, that's Kurguidov. It's going to be the yellow car. Move forward to the yellow car, Jim. Sorry. Do apologize. I can't see the numbers. There's the 0 being lapped again. This is the 4 of Karoglu. So we got there running an X-ray. So this is our third place car. As you can see, 2 laps behind our leader of Da Silva, who we were following just a moment ago in that car 6. But car 4 here is our third place car, our final bump-up position. Viconia, it looks like he's solidified. He's running on the same lap as Karoglu here. But Viconia looks like he's secured that second place bump-up position for the moment, at least until something happens. So I think we're going to get another pit stop from everybody. We're just crossed under the 4-minute mark. So 3 minutes and 50-something seconds to go. And into the pits is our 4th place car. There we go. We'll follow him out as well. There we go. That is Karoglu. And into that very tight chicane S section. I now want to call it the S's, but I've been calling it the first chicane all week, so I'll try to stick with that, but I will confuse myself and call it by both, I'm sure. But Kuroglu still, even after the pit stop, is still running third. Kurguidov now in the fourth spot. Note dropped down to fifth. Then we've got Kalis Sahin, the other Sahin, Bob Harley, and then the other Sahin, sorry, and then Turkey. So you can see, I'm pretty sure this car is running the dry tires, the dry foams, because it's the white wheels. But it could be, I mean, it's still semi-damp conditions out there, so they're allowed to run a separately set up wet car and or any rubber or foam tires that they wish. Obviously designed for 10th scale touring car, because it has been declared a wet race. And I think we're going to have our first complete final, knock on wood, of the day. 20 minutes of racing. We've already had our last pit stops. We're on our final bump up position racer of this yellow car with the white wing of Kuroglu. Now this is Note that he's coming up to lap, I believe. And a big gaggle of cars there to lap. There's already past two. That's great. And now, trying to keep it rubber side down. Another car. Oh, very slow there. Two cars. They're not weaving. They're just trying to stay on a racing line and get around the track themselves. There's no deliberate blocking here. It's the second yellow car that we're following, Jim. So still not able to get past this lap traffic. They sort of split apart themselves. And there we go. Good job down the straight. And I'm going to get another pass. Not quite yet. Around the Omega. Braking for the hairpin. Through the fine. Oh, and nearly into the grass. That was a tight one. What happened there? Just outbraked himself. Kuroglu still, oh, there's someone, that was our leader actually. You may get a lap back here. I think that was our leader in the grass, but he's 2 laps ahead, so it was our leader. They've just made up a lap. So De Silva, Viconia, Kuroglu, who we are with, and this is actually our battle for second. My bad, I didn't realize that this is our other yellow car that we were following earlier, who was in the third position. So that is last lap. Last lap for these guys. Next time they come across, that will be the final deciding positions for the bump-up spots. Second and third crossing. And that is Viconia and Kuroglu finishing. Where's De Silva? Even if De Silva, there it goes. So De Silva has finished now. So that is De Silva, Viconia, and Kuroglu bumping up. Fabulous job for them. And we have our first 20-minute final complete. So we have one more race today. Going to have a bit of a break. There's our finishing orders. Kurguidov, Note, Kalis, Sahin, Harley, Turkey, and the other Sahin. My apologies for not... this is Omer and I think Unoi. So the clouds have come back a little bit, but outside it seems to have darkened up maybe. A little bit hard to tell. Yeah.
When you
So we're just trying to sort out a couple things with the camera that we did spot. We do like to thank Neil Wallace in the RC Racing TV YouTube chat. Thank you very much for spotting a mistake with our discount code. Discount code is actually ICTC24. ICTC24. That is the discount code on rcracingtv.com to get 10% off anything on the RC Racing TV shop. So please check that out. So next race starts in 2 minutes. And it will be our final race of the day, the 1/8A final. And that will be featuring Freddie Pellois, Franz Engel, Klaus Reiskopf, Nathan DeMarco, Nicholas Talek, Carol Krejcik, Roland Fankhauser, Marcus Groder, who hasn't checked in for some reason. We don't know what exactly is happening with Marcus. And also Lionel Huppert and Xavier Rabotier. So as we can see, drivers in the pits, or mechanics in the pits. Okay, and they're off. First time into the main, into the S's. Just trying to sort out something with our main camera. We do apologize.
to do a drive-through. It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, we do apologize for the technical issues. We are sorted now. We're not going to be cutting away from the this main camera view now. So we are with, I think, our leaders. I do apologize. The 1/8A final, we have DeMarco in the lead, followed by Raiskov, Engel, and Pellois. As our top four, we are concerned with the cars 2 and 1 out on track. That's Engel and Pellois, because third place will be our final bump-up position. Remaining order is Krajcik, Rabatur, Fenkhauser, Huppert, Talik, and Groder. Groder, Huppert, and Rabatur were our bump-ups from the 1/16A. So I think, just trying to get situated here. A little technical issue that we had to sort out. That is Pellois, who's in third, that we are following. So great job, Jim. Thank you very much. Our car 1. This is our car 1 of Freddie Pellois, who is in third position, our final bump-up position. So directly behind him is a very nicely colorful, that Tiffany green with the purple wing, which is a very bold choice, I would say. It certainly stands out. It's nice to have something different out on track rather than just all white, yellow, or red, or orange. So Pellois going through lap traffic already. Crossing the main finish line, going into the first complex of chicanes and S's. Very, very tight. Again, it is technically possible to go straight line it, but not something that's probably the slowest way to get around. Down the straight. These guys going a lot faster now. I'm not sure. I wasn't able to catch whether this is been declared a wet race or a dry race, but it looks like everyone is on the dry tires. So pretty much most of the moisture gone. Whoa, and a slide. Crazy. Let's see if we can see that again. Getting sideways there. Look at that. Oh, I think drift judges would give him an excellent mark there, and a slide in sympathy from the yellow car that was coming up behind. Probably the fastest drift that we'll see all day today. It was about 70 miles an hour coming through there, about 110 kilometers is an estimate. First pit stop already. We're not even at we're just past the 5-minute mark, or 4-minute mark, I apologize. So probably Pellois will be coming in next lap. So patience. And here he comes in. This is our third place car, Freddie Pellois. Nice slide stop. Fuel gun pours in. Ooh, and what's going on there? A little bit slow to come out of the pits. And we're just waiting for cars. Oh, and a little bit of a tap. Touring car love tap. That's what we call it. Oh, and another one. Let's see how first one, though. Coming through on the inside. I'm just coming through here. Thank you. And on and away he goes. Pellois around the arrowhead. Most of these corners are banked, but you can't really tell from the driver's stand, which makes it quite a challenging circuit. It looks simple, but it's not. And another slide. Not quite as impressive as the first one. Through this final chicane. full speed, I'm pretty sure these guys are doing. Just pulling that throttle as much as it'll go. And who's he coming up on? I think this is a number 3 of Ricekov. So this is actually battle for second. Pretty sure that's Ricekov. And then DeMarco is a couple cars ahead. Or no, the very next car ahead. So it's a battle. Ooh, and I think DeMarco has made a mistake there. So this is actually a battle for 1, 2, 3. So we'll watch this, but concentrate on the white and orange car of Ricekov, because actually now he's in third. So whoever comes up on him is going to be battling for third. So we have a proper battle for the lead. Oh, now a battle for second again. So I think that is Pellois moved all the way up to the lead. It's a great pace from that number 1 car. You would expect it, as in qualifying. He's fastest of this group, just based on the qualifying positions. DeMarco's still actually showing in the lead. Okay, so these two are second and third. So I think the next car, well, in the queue is that Tiffany Green car, which is actually the next car behind on track now. He was battling with, I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Hooper. I'm not. There's a couple different blue and yellow cars, so slightly confused. So here's our battle for third now. Easy pass. That was absolutely unremarkable. So Engel making it look easy through those S's. Oh, and over the grass. So there you go. You see Engel. Oh, and that is a full speed. Nearly took each other both out. See how close that was. Zoom right past. Taking the door mirrors off both cars probably. So this Tiffany Green car with the purple wing now running, I think this is our second place car. So Pellois back into first. So let's wait there, Jim. Let's wait there at the Omega. It'll be that number 1 car. There we go. The next car through the hairpin. That's this one there. That's Freddie Pellois, who is back down to third after running second for several laps. Someone's just come off the track at the end of the straight. I don't think that was any of our contenders for the bump-up position. So Pellois. Ricekov is... Oh, Pellois. Let's follow Pellois. Another slidey stop into the pit lane. So Talek now taking over the 4th position from Ricekov. Ricekov falling back a couple of positions. I think he's the one who actually was coming off the track because it's on orange car. So Freddie Pellois coming through the second of the very tight chicanes. Nice pass there. Coming onto the main straight. I should just say straight because there's really no straight sections on this track except for the main straight. DeMarco now taking over the lead from Engel. So Engel must have had a pit stop after DeMarco. These drivers coming in during normal conditions. They're coming in anywhere from the 4-minute to the 4-minute 15 mark. So every 4 minutes 15 seconds they have to come in. Not quite able to make 4 minutes 30 seconds when it gets, especially as it gets warmer. Pellois here in the number 1 car that we're following around the Omega, and then the hairpin running in 3rd position, which is the final spot of our bump-up positions. On the hairpin once again. No one around. So this is actually the perfect position for Freddie. Everyone else is gathered up doing the old clumping trick and holding each other up and letting Freddie just run basically on his own with no one around, no one to take his eye or, well, nearly there. Hit the curbing. There's a great spot for Freddie to be in, though. In an assured bump-up position with less than 9 minutes to go now. So probably 2 more pit stops at most. Maybe a third splash and dash. But you would figure just to be safe, coming in every 4 minutes, that would be 5 pit stops. Fooled me there. Made me think he was about to go in for a pit stop. Coming up on more lap traffic. For the first time in quite a while, I know we're following just one car going around the track, but this is the final bump-up position. So Talika's just crossed the line. So if Freddie here on camera were to get into any issues with the lap traffic that were to come up, or he did a couple of impressive side swipey drifty things around that first there like that, but going the opposite direction into the first banking corner. If he does any more of that, he might fall into the reach of Talik, who's in that number 5 car and not terribly far behind him, really. There is quite a gap. Oh, and he comes in for a pit already again. So, referee calling 7 minutes remaining, as you can see on the clock. So DeMarco must have come in as well for his pit, which promotes Engel into the lead temporarily. Pellois has come in and was briefly in second, now running third again. Just waiting for Talika's only just crossed the line, so it's going to be a mighty effort from Talik and a combination of mistakes in this next 6.5 minutes or so, 6.25 minutes. But again, Pellois basically running on his own, no one to distract him, no cars that he has to pass for quite some time. All the cars running, 7 cars running, it looks like. Groder, for whatever reason, didn't make it. It's a dead car that he just bumped into. I'm not sure who that was. It's one of the yellow and blue cars. Talik doesn't seem to, every time Talik doesn't seem to be making up any time on Pellois here, and who's actually bumped up into second now because Engel is dropped down to third. So we'll see if this resolves itself sort of in the next couple of laps, because pit stops do temporarily change the order of things. Pellois still running. Maybe there was an issue for Engel that we missed off camera. DeMarco is a few seconds ahead of Pellois. So I think Engel must be the next car behind. Yes. I missed it. How could I miss that Tiffany blue and purple wing of Engel? So this car, and then the next car behind. If we just wait there and follow the next car, that's one there. That is Engel, who is now our third place racer. Franz Engel from Austria. Around the arrowhead. That's a very steep bank turn there, that middle turn. The Omega's mostly flat. There's a bit of a dip in that final chicane right at the middle apex. So if you do hit it, you go a little bit, flying just a little bit, but not a massive amount. But I think there's going to be one more pit stop from everybody. Just a quick splash and dash. There we go. Here's Engel coming in for a pit. Car number 2. Very quickly. Nice color matched logo on the back of his mechanic's sweatshirt. So let's see if this changes anything around. DeMarco, Pellois, and Engel, of course, probably all pitting on the same lap. That's why they're showing as black and red on the timing. Engel coming through now. So they came in and out in the same order. I'm sure they came in all on the same lap. Oh, and a slide there. Bit of a moment. See if we can get that. There's that bank turn, and then just somehow just gets a weirdly unsettled. See if it happens again. Probably not. There we go. It's got that middle turn has an interesting, it's got a double, it looks like it has a double apex to it, but it doesn't really. It's just, it's a sharper apex that kind of draws you in. So DeMarco, Pellois, Engel, who we are following. Pellois is a couple of cars ahead. Actually 4 cars ahead on track. Now 3 cars ahead. Going through lap traffic. So it's a 20-minute race coming to an end. That's as well as our race program for the day. No more pit stops happening here. No more racing happening after today's running. After this race, I should say. Program is due to start. I'll just cue that up, actually, because there's always some sort of drama that can happen at the end of a race, no matter how solid it looks. We have been following Franz Engel from Austria. Earlier, we were following Freddy Pellois from France. Fairly local, well, local enough racer, I imagine. So we're less than a minute to go. We've been following Franz Engel, who's in our final bump-up position. 3 drivers bump up into the quarterfinal A tomorrow. Around the Omega. Crossing that finish line down the main straight one more time. I think he's going to get this lap and one more. Program starts at 9:20 tomorrow morning at Central European time. And oh, that's a tight pass. Oh, a little sideways there. And using it to advantage to pass that number 9 of Hooper. Time is expired. This is the last lap for everyone. You can hear big applause, actually, for DeMarco, Pellois, and Engel. All the Frenchmen, well, not all the Frenchmen finishing, bumping up. Those are the 3 drivers bumping up. Then we have Talek, Rabateur, Hooper, Fankhaus, Krajik, Reiskopf and Groder. Not sure what happened to Reiskopf. Unfortunately, he's our lone Dane racer this weekend. But tomorrow's program starts at 9:20, and they will be running through no matter what. As we saw earlier today, if you were following our 1/16th B and A finals, we had a race that was called early after it was deemed to have stopped after the 75% mark, and a race that was stopped and then restarted with the remaining time left. And basically, those are our two extremes of what could happen tomorrow for rain situations. If a race is stopped, officials will try to make it, try to stick it out until the 15-minute mark or the 75% mark. Most of the races tomorrow will be 20 minutes long, except for the last chance final, which is going to be 15 minutes, and then the main final, 45 minutes. So we'll say our goodbyes now. We do want to thank you all for sticking around. And if you're catching us on replay or later on in the evening or maybe tomorrow morning or whenever you're watching, make sure to subscribe to the EFRA or RCTV channels. Follow the EFRA or RCTV Facebook pages so you're made aware of when we go live. We will be going live just after sometime around 9:10 maybe tomorrow, Central European time. My name is Frank McKinney, and on the camera has been Jim Little. In the producing studio has been Matt McCallum and James Perry. And we want to thank our sponsors, X-Ray, Lens Bodies, and RCXX Shop, for helping us bring you this coverage all day long. And I just want to play out the adverts and thank our sponsors and thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow, about 9:15 tomorrow.
The free practice is after the